I am Dr. Edgar Blevins from Southern University, and I teach in mechanical engineering, and I'm involved in outreach things back in Baton Rouge. And I've been a part of this program, I guess, since we started it. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little about faculty mentors, and we'll bring in a little advisors and talk about a few things that come under both of those categories. I have a handout that I'm going to share with you, hopefully time permitting, and we're going to see if we can do a few things real quickly. Right. All of us have seen we're all using a standard outline, so I'm going to kind of walk through this real quickly. We're going to go through, and one of the key things at the end, we're going to kind of look at a few resources that are available for mentees and mentors at other universities, including UNL. Right. So we want to talk about what is mentoring. You know, the benefits of it, finding that mentor. What do you expect from that mentor? The social environment that goes along with mentoring. Understanding the community. So there are some cases that the community may need to be involved in just that standard mentor that you think, and we'll discuss those in a few. Okay. How do you select that mentor? Okay. We gain an appreciation for faculty mentors and advisors. You learn about those expectations. We also know what's your responsibilities as being on the other side of that table, and developing that community. Here's something that I borrowed from, I think this came from Dr. Howard Adams, some of his resources, and basically defining what is a mentor. You know, so it's a mentor has a unique history, goes back to the proper name mentor, Greek mythology, with Odyssey, and it's from a poem. And the king of Ithaca led his soldiers out during the Trojan War. He needed someone to look after his son for 10 years. Wanted someone that could provide some teaching, counseling, and advice throughout that time period. So that's where the term comes from back in the Greek mythology days. What is it? Enabling a one-on-one relationship. So the key thing I like to highlight here is the one-on-one relationship that you should have and is recommended for graduate school. And we're going to talk a little about developing that relationship, and hopefully to help with coaching, various advisement, nurturing, and tutoring. You know, HBCUs, are known for mentoring and nurturing. So we hope to continue that when you move off and on for your graduate studies. Okay. Right. What does this mean to you? I want you to make a list, and we're going to discuss what you think falls on this list.
So I said that they help you kind of plan and like give you like, okay, well this makes sense or whatever, give you advice, listening ear, and let you know different opportunities that may arise.
Okay, all right. Okay, yes sir, go ahead.
There's a challenge and motivate you, and well, because they already been through your shoes.
Okay. You want? Yes sir.
Yeah. They have an objective with you.
Okay.
To get you at a certain point.
So the same objective is what you're thinking? Okay, same mission? Okay, all right. Yes.
Sometimes they'll do like one-on-one time and make presentations. Even if they're busy, they'll take their time and help you out and then go back to what they were doing.
Okay, so spending some individual time? Yes.
They help you to see your potential and the opportunities ahead of you.
Okay, all right, good points. Yes, ma'am?
Someone that will advise me in a certain direction, that'll give me factual knowledge to assist me where I need to be.
Okay, advise you in a direction. Did your hand go up, sir?
I just got someone who's effective, available, and accountable. Constructive criticism and also correcting when needed.
Okay, all right. Those are some of the things that are on my list too. So I don't have a list here, but we're going to go through a couple of slides. So maybe he came to my presentation before. And all right. So mentoring. So it has the ability to assist graduate students of color to adjust with both the academic and non-academic. I don't know if I heard much on the non-academic from your list, but they also can help you on that side. So there are several models out there, and we're going to look at some at the end. I'm going to focus on UNL's also, and I said that's where my handout comes from. So we'll watch our time and make sure we get a chance to look at that. So relationships involve experienced individuals. So someone mentioned something they've been through. Okay, going to help you with the habits, performance, and progress of less experienced. That protege, you're the protege. So we're going to see what we can do here. So what is an advisor? So typically that's a person that you have assigned to you by a department. You go in, you register in a program. All of us have an advisor now, right? So they tell you what classes you can take, what you should not take, the routes, and try to help you get through that the program that you're studying. So we have that person as an undergrad, and we'll have that person as a graduate student. They can help you work on your thesis or your dissertation. And so no problems with that. We know what that advisor is, right? Okay. So is your advisor a mentor?
Some of them.
Some of them? Does anyone here have an advisor that is not a mentor? Okay, so some are not, huh? Okay, so we have both sides here. So here, relationships with mentors tend to go deeper and more personal than that advisor. You come in, okay, take mechanics and materials, take dynamics, take statics, all right? You take these courses, you get A's or B's, all right, we're going to be in good shape. Okay? But that mentor is going to maintain contact with you. Dr. Zabifi is presenting right now. He was my instructor when I was an undergrad. He and I later became co-workers. I can call on him at any time. I met a co-worker of his last week, and I mentioned that I knew Dr. Zabifi, and his eyes lit up. Oh, that's my mentor. He's another professor that works with him. And he said that he considers him his mentor. Okay? So, that relationship can continue. So, and you help support new graduate students that are going into the work world or even graduate school. So individuals with effective mentoring, get all my bullets up there, they can experience fewer problems. That person can be there to help you get through this program. It's going to be a challenge. Okay? And but you can work with that mentor, and they can help you get through the program. There's a student I knew in graduate school that did not have a mentor and did not have an effective advisor, and it took that student a lot longer to get through the program. I learned from that individual, and I learned what not to do by following her. That same person was my advisor initially, and I would go into his office. And she said he refuses to review her dissertation. And I would go into his office and I'd see a dissertation sitting in the corner. I'd notice what book or what papers were on the top of it. I'd go in that office a month later. Her draft of her dissertation was still in that same corner. Same book or page was on it. And I'd come back, it hasn't moved. It was there last month. It's still there again. And she did not have a good relationship with that individual. And that in turn resulted in her taking a lot longer to get through her program. Okay? But then the person became my advisor, kind of mentored me and told me don't follow that path. So that truly helped me get through the program a lot quicker. And I said, you have this person, you can be more productive and help you make responsible choices. Right? There's a lot of literature out there. So I'm going to show you a couple of things here that verifies and validates that a mentor is a key component to you finishing school. Here, Council on Graduate School survey says recent doctoral students indicated that the quality of their mentoring advisor played a major role in them completing their degree. I know a lot of students that I was in graduate school with that were a lot smarter than me working on their PhDs when they didn't finish school. I'm like, man, this guy is so sharp. He got sidetracked with other things. I said some of it may have just been personal things that came up that prevented them from going on. But that mentor can help you. Right? More recent document that I pulled up from the Department of Education and Kim talks about the importance of students pursuing graduate education. And it says having a faculty member during their undergrad education actually helps. Right? It says especially relevant for students of color. So you can have an advisor, and there's a couple papers I'll show later that talks about the importance of race. So we'll take a look at that in a second. Identifying a mentor. So we need to think about that person's background. You know, what type of a relationship can we build with that? An actual agreement. One of the resources we're going to look at, there's a document that you and your mentor should sign off on. Okay? It can be the department chair. It can be the minority faculty member. Or someone in your area, someone that helps with planning. So there are lots of sources out there that can help you navigate this degree program via mentors. Can help develop and maintain momentum. Once you get something started, that mentor is there. All right, we're going now. Let's keep things going. Okay, all right. So this is from Dr. Howard Adams, and some of my information came from Dr. Adams. And he has the 3 P's. He says that this is what effective mentoring provide proteges an edge. I'm going to give you 3 P's here. Process, permission, and protection. So how do I get through this? When I got a problem here, I need someone to help me. Let me go and talk to this mentor. Right? Permission. Is this something I should do? Dr. Jones, is this really something you think I should? And he said, look, I don't think you should take that approach. That student I was mentioning earlier, if she'd had a mentor, some of the things that she did, my advisor and mentor said do not do. And she never bounced these ideas off of someone. You know, she was a big complainer, and I think that backfired on her. Protection, shields you from outside attacks. My mentor and advisor, when I was selecting my committee for my dissertation, he recommended, no, I don't think you want Dr. Smith on your committee. Dr. Smith and Dr. James don't like each other. They're going to take it out on you. Okay? So Dr. Smith will tell me, okay, I want you to go and do this research, find some information on this topic. And I'll go and find that information on the topic. Dr. James doesn't like that. Dr. James says, oh, why is he doing this here? Yeah, I want him to go and do this. So those two would be battling. But my mentor guided me through that path and helped me get through the process. So those are some of the things, there's the protection that he offered. Okay? All right. What's the role of that mentor? Information, advice, expectations, and I think I've heard some of these things from you guys, shares experiences. Right? Also can develop that academic plan and goals. What do you want to do? Okay. What do you want to do? All right. And I believe all the slides will be available to you. So if you miss some of the things, all right, we'll make sure you get copies of it. Right. What's your role? You're sitting on the other side of the table. You know, mentors like proactive people. You're going to sit back and say, I'm going to wait on them to tell me what I should do next. You know, like, okay, I haven't seen John in a while. Where's John? John going in and a document we're going to look at, a little worksheet we're going to look at may help with some of that later. What about the interest? I really have an interest in doing this. You know, so you go in and say a lot of graduate students take the approach that they want to solve all of the world's problems. And if you're an instructor may come to you and say, okay, you can solve all the world's problems if you got 30 years to work on this research. So, you know, we're going to help you become a little more focused. And by sharing that information, your mentor can work with you and your advisor to get through that. Committed to learning, receptive to being directed and learn from experiences. So, you know, you need to take this and talk to someone mentioned being able to accept criticism, right? So here, understanding the social environment. So good mentorship consists of these things that are listed here: interacting, teaching. Right? This could lead to having a better understanding of the academic protocol. That's that example that I used earlier. The organizational norms, just don't do this. That person liked to bypass people within her committee, within the department, going to the graduate school dean, going to the engineering dean, and said, look, those things are not going to work well. The dean was friends with the department head. The deans were the two deans, the graduate school dean and the engineering dean, were friends. So I'm going to go to them and complain about their friend. Okay? So my mentor stepped in and let me handle this. Okay? All right. The office politics, all that's intertwined. How does it work? What's the best way? Okay? So they can help you with those things. What am I going to need to accomplish this task? I want to get through this program, and so look, I really need you to focus on this. This is something you need to be a little more focused on and help you get through. What qualities do I need to complete this degree? So they can help you with all of these things that we have listed here, right? Right. And avenues for advancement. You know, I am in constant contact with my advisor from my PhD program. And I said he actually over the summer I happened to be in town with him and called him up. He called me in to he was doing an outside course, not on the university. He asked me would I go and teach this course for him. So I had an opportunity from a casual visit to actually get paid for teaching a 4-hour class for him that day. So you know he and I are constantly in contact. Peer mentoring. What does this mean to you? What do you think? What is peer mentoring?
So,
yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes.
I actually was just about to ask you.
Okay.
So, I'm currently in a program where I'm supposed to mentor, but I'm mentoring freshmen.
Okay.
And they're not interested. You know what I mean? What would be some, I guess, tactics to, I guess, gain their interest or get them to wanna, like, because I'm literally trying to give them all of this, you know, information. And don't get me wrong, one of the three is not interested. And I
It's not.
want to know from your point of view, what would you say?
I have students that are not interested. And I know the challenge that you have. So does that person have an interest in engineering?
I mean,
See, that's the big question mark. That was one of the proteges. That was a question mark there. Yeah.
I would think
So,
she would. You're sitting in all these classes, you know, so I don't know.
My viewpoint on those that are not showing interest is that they're not sure of their direction at this point in time. And so I'm teaching a freshman engineering class now, and I have quite a few that they simply come to class, and I have one, he sits on his backpack the entire class period. He sits there. I said, are you interested in aviation? You know, are you interested in automotive? What are you interested in? Electronic? What are you interested in? I don't know. So I think that's going to be the key, trying to figure out what they're interested in. You saw the proteges list that I had there about their interests. If we can figure out their interest, then maybe we can stay more. Good question, all right? So well, what is peer mentoring in general? What do you think that is?
You get constructive criticism from your peers.
From your peers. So in the previous session, someone asked me about what about my mentoring with my master's program, my master's degree, and I was at Georgia Tech, and they asked about a faculty mentor, and I said I really didn't have one at that stage of my academic studies, but I had peers that I considered my mentor at that time. So they guided us, and with that program at the time, they had an Office of Minority Education. So it was mostly focused on undergraduate students there, but some of those became graduate students and mentored other incoming graduate students. So being able to have someone there that looks like you, that's going through what you're going through, are some of those benefits and opportunities that are available. Okay, all right. So adding a little more detail to that, peer mentoring programs for new graduate students. A lot of universities have a graduate student open house, you know, and so they all get together. And I remember walking in a big room, and you know, a few hundred students came in, and I saw a few people, waved at them, and we started talking. You know, so these were incoming students, and they also brought in existing graduate students, current graduate students that could provide some of that mentoring. So you can build that community. On that community, say peer mentors select for more advanced graduate students. So these guys have done this, so they can tell you, you know, this is a route to take, right? All right. I often can look at and help you with some of those unwritten rules. A young lady that I was talking about, she violated some unwritten rules, and it took her years. I think she did finish before me, but she was probably in graduate school, and she did some of this part-time. She was probably in graduate school 3-4 years before I was. And I may have graduated a year after she did, okay? But she violated a lot of those unwritten rules, okay? Okay. Here's a source here from an article that I found that talks about, does race matter? So, there's lots of documents out there, and this person here does indicate that it did matter in her situation. But someone asked, okay, what if there's no one that looks like me in my department, in the College of Engineering? There are others outside. They do not have to be in your particular discipline. So there was a guy I knew that was in biology at the University of Alabama, Huntsville, where I studied. He was very active, and he wanted to ensure that people got through the program. So so they do not have to be in your program. There are various sources out here. This is the University of Nebraska-Lincoln site, and so they have an actual guidebook for mentoring. And so if you notice here, it says who are graduate students. So they have a list of things there. Why mentoring is hard to find, why mentoring is important, benefits of it. So there's a link that's provided where you can find some additional information on mentoring on the site here. Okay. We'll go into a little more details in this site, and we'll talk a little more about it. So under mentoring, just kind of define some of the things, and within it has some key factors and things that I think you should take a closer look. So skills in this area here are easier to develop as a graduate student than you think. So they go through with this handbook and really guide you through some do's and don'ts and can help you really select a mentor. So it talks about mentor leads. They clarify your goals. Some of the things we said: guide and direct. Okay, show interest and enthusiasm. So we got to get some enthusiasm from that student that may not have an interest just yet, right? So within that handbook, it says what a skillful mentor should provide. We're just going to take a look at some of these that are listed here. They support others, encourage excellence. I heard that from someone. Be enthusiastic. So you don't want someone who's really not interested in you and not showing some enthusiasm that you think should be there. Sensitive to the needs of others. Okay, use good judgment. Thinks creatively. This friend of mine, Dr. Calvin Mackey, was studying for his PhD at Georgia Tech, and when he had lost his mom, his advisor had no interest in that. And as you heard in the previous presentation, his advisor had some deadlines. I need you to finish this by this time. His mentor, which he's never identified to me as his mentor, but I know she was, Carolyn Myers, was the civil engineering department head and later became the president of Jackson State. She was his mentor. He went to her and she said, this is what you need to do. Get back to New Orleans and take care of your family. Okay? But his advisor had no interest whatsoever. I need this done by this time, and that's it. You don't have a choice. You heard earlier that you might have to work during spring break and some of the holidays, and that was this advisor's approach. He needed this work done. So he said also, but your mentor can help you with those things. Okay, so they can also hold you accountable. I heard the word accountable come up from someone. All right, ongoing commitment, continuous. Right. Under the support category here, it says some students discuss ideas that might be fearful, they are naive or crazy. Go and bounce this idea off your mentor. See what they say. What do you think? Should I go and take this to my advisor? So they say, oh no, don't bring that up. That's something you shouldn't do, or it may be something you should do. Okay. All right. Can teach you how to break large tasks. When I talked about trying to save the world, you as a graduate student. Students go in with these big ideas and say, if you're going to be here for 30 years, you can do it. But let's break this down a little. Only thing we need to do, let's see if we can figure out a way of cleaning up spring water, okay, rather than cleaning up the ocean. Okay, so there are ways of that's some of the things that they can help you do, and say they give you enough space to be creative, and they'll let you know it's okay to make mistakes. You can learn from your failures. Another classic example, like I said, I learned from that individual and that person's failures by trying to get her dissertation reviewed. Okay. All right. Respect. So here you can give students your full attention. They'll give you your full attention. That's the handbook that UNL has is for the mentor and mentee. My first slide kind of shows. So they're telling them, what do we need to do? I want to make sure you're a good mentor, and I want to make sure that mentee is a good recipient of what you have to offer. So I said, this is an excellent site that you can go to and learn, get some more information. Give you full attention. They can learn, remembering previous conversations, the last time we talked, this is what you said you were going to do. Right? Tell students, what you learned from them. Okay? And so if someone else comes behind you, they can share that information with them. I'm aware of a graduate student that all at once got a lot of money coming in during that time period, went out and bought a brand new truck. It's like, you didn't need a brand new truck. Why'd you do that? This money wasn't for you to buy a truck. Say, well, the advisor, you don't care. I need my work done. Okay? That mentor has a different approach to it, all right? And someone mentioned constructive feedback. So you got to be able to accept that constructive feedback. So the mentor can give you, provide feedback on your work. So if you fall behind and don't think this is because of a lack of commitment. So we got to figure out why. Some things may be going on. Let's try to figure out what we can do to keep you on track. Okay. So you might dislike the project they're working on. Let's talk about this. I really don't want to work on this. Your advisor don't care if you like it or not. Okay. That mentor, let's see what we can do to get through this. Okay. All right. So we're on time here. Recognize that those would research, so the character integrity here, they're watching you, trying to learn ways of doing things. We've got to see what's going on here. Be clear. Have some high standards for yourself and the protege, so they want both to be on the same track. All right. Here's another site from the University of Washington. I pulled from their website. So they have a mentoring site, and they have some of the same thing, mentoring resources, mentoring guides. So most graduate schools have something like this that you have at your disposal. Like I said, you don't have to be a graduate student at the University of Washington or University of Nebraska to take advantage of the materials that are offered. Right? I got some of this information from Dr. Howard Adams. He still does speaking engagement. I think he was here the last time we had this conference. So if you notice across the top of his current website, he has trainer publications. So some of his publications are there that talk about mentoring and his true focus on trying to get more underrepresented students in graduate school and completing degrees. Okay? So once you hear Dr. Adams speak, you will not forget him. Right? The Council of Graduate Schools. So how do I get the mentoring you want? So there's some site there. Has general information that can help you get through one of these programs. Here's some of the basic links that I have, and that will be posted. And I'm going to give you a copy of something we're going to take a quick look at. And you could, give everyone a copy. Let me hold one, all right, while I'm talking to it. I'll open it on the screen. Here's a worksheet that came from the UNL site. And we're going to look at this real quickly. I guess I need to get to the last site. There are about 6 of these worksheets that are on the UNL mentoring and guideline worksheet. So I want you to look at worksheet 1, where it says your expectations. I want you to kind of look through this, because this kind of gives you some of the information that we're talking about. And like the first one says, the reason I want a mentor. And you're sitting there thinking, I really want someone I want to receive some encouragement and support from that person. So all these factors that are listed here are things that you can think about, and okay, how would that benefit me? Right? So go through it and make a selection or 2 of those. And the second one says, I hope my mentor and I will. Do you want them to meet over coffee, lunch? Have a formal mentoring event together? So all these are kinds of things that can, you may decide that's what I'd like to do. So you can go to your mentor and I'm going to share this with you. Are you willing to do this? And I hope my mentor and I will discuss. We're going to discuss academic subjects that will benefit my future career. So I had when I went back to graduate school, my wife is a mechanical engineer, and she wanted to get a degree in computer science. And the computer science department head wanted her to take 15 credit hours in computer science as an undergrad. And the mentor that I had there says, look, that should not be the path to get into the program. He said by doing that, he's preventing her from receiving any funding. She's not going to get any funding for taking these 15 plus hours as an undergrad. He admits her as a graduate student, she can take these courses and receive additional funding. But to say the advisor and the department head of the department never once said that, but there was an external mentor in the biology department. And this is what he was working to change. So, you know, some of these things that are listed here can kind of trigger you to think about, what do I need from that mentor, right? Things I feel are off limits, okay? Sharing intimate aspects of my life. So like I said, when my friend mentioned to him that his mother had passed and he did not care, right? The last one, I hope my mentor will help me with my opportunities. So think about these things that are listed here, these 5 things that are listed here, and you know, you can apply some of these towards your selecting your mentor and be able to find the right person. Okay. And I kind of want you to just think about those. And on the back sheet, we're not going to fill these out. We're going to look at these. I kind of would like for you to do. We're not going to have time to evaluate them and look at them just yet. So I'm just going to stroll through those real quick. So we kind of look at it. On the bottom, first off, we didn't get to the bottom. I'd like for you to think about this. How much time do you think you need with your mentor? Do you want 1 hour, or once every other week, per month? On the site, there's an agreement. You share that agreement with your mentor, and you both sign off on it. We're agreeing to do these things. So they're talking about coming up with a contract. You come up with a contract, and you got something to hold he or she accountable. So we want to meet once a week. They want you to get through. And so I do this for some of the undergrad students because we need students in our program. You know, students think some faculty members don't want them. They want you there. They want you in the program. So they're going to do what they can to hopefully keep you there. So the second page of that has these general questions that I thought we'd just take a quick look at. Like, what are my, you can think about these things. What are my top 5 strengths? The second one is basically weaknesses. Then opportunities, SWOT, okay? Threats. And the last one, what are the 5 most important things I can do over the next 6 months to build on my strengths and overcome my challenges? So if you kind of focus on some of these things, I think we'll be okay. All right? I'm going to go back to the presentation real quickly. We should be wrapping things up here in, I think it's on the right slide. So, I am Dr. Blevins at Southern University.